Yeah. Okay. So I have questions for the chat about the drama. Has Hikaru streamed yesterday and today and talked about the drama, or has he streamed and not talked about it, or has he not streamed? Those are the three options. He streamed and talked about it. He streamed and didn't talk about it, or he didn't stream. So he didn't say anything. All right, so he lawyered up. But has he oh, he's off to Iceland. That's right. I heard about that. Prearranged travel. He hasn't talked about it. But it sounds like he did stream. Thanks, Stock Dog. He hasn't streamed. No stream, no talk. So he hasn't streamed since it came out. So that makes sense. Yeah, of course. I saw just Bruce's thing. Thanks, Tom554. There was a bit of a brouhaha today with Ginger GM and Karen. I thought they were going to come to blows, but it turned out they were thousands of miles away. But what happened was,
I want to tell my version.
I've played 2 matches with Ginger GM, and I won them both. The last one I played him was about 3-4 years ago, something like that. And we decided before the match to have a friendly wager. We would bet 20 subs. Okay? So I won the match, and he never gave me my 20 subs. And I literally didn't care because, black actors, GMs, were like that. And I mentioned it once, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, so Ginger GM posted something Karen didn't like Danny Wrench went out of his way to be, Danny Wrench, and, Hans no good, and so forth. So then Karen responded with, what are you talking about? Danny Wrench went out of his way. And second of all, why didn't you pay Ben his 20 subs from years ago? Bitch. And then he says, oh, I didn't know, what do you mean? And, and so forth. He never told me how to pay them and stuff like that. Anyway, I was asleep when this was going on. And then he did end up giving me the 20 subs about 4 or 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago. Like, when we weren't streaming.
Okay, so
I mean, I literally didn't care. I thought it was good to hang over him, but
let me jump in.
Now I can't.
Let me jump in there.
Yeah,
that's mostly accurate. You did good.
Mm-hmm. And what Karen doesn't know is I've private messaged him since then, and we're like that, son. Me and Ginger GM were the 2 best friends. We're like me and Hikaru now.
Well, here's the thing. I shouldn't have brought
Just
it
drama.
up. No, I shouldn't have brought it up on the thread. It was unrelated. And I was getting really mad reading Twitter. I've got like 3 different threads that make me mad. I need to stay off social media. Number 1 is the chess drama. Number 2 is the poker drama. And number 3 is this guy, Imposter Edits, that always posts police abusing citizens.
And he posts a lot.
And so I was, a little bit in a funk. I do see it differently than you. He didn't tell the truth that he DM'd you about it a few times. That's not true.
Trying to learn said his failure to pay was why he couldn't get back to the U.S. That's funny.
So, yeah. I guess he was embarrassed. I shouldn't have called it. He's right. I should have sent a DM. But I asked Ben to do it, and Ben didn't want to do it because black actors. But I feel like it's our household income. And, it's pretty lame that he didn't pay up when he lost the match.
Well, that's because the pound went to the toilet and because,
it's lame.
Prime Minister and the economy's crashing.
You messaged him about it, and he didn't ever pay. Okay, so whether he forgot it or whether it was whatever, I shouldn't have publicly said something in that moment, but I was, like, worked up about after reading my Twitter feed. So I actually deleted that one tweet. And he did pay.
I don't care so much.
And also...
I can't talk about how he didn't pay me now. So, although I did mention it to the Botest sisters, because we also bet, I think, 20 subs. I don't know, 50. I don't know how many we bet.
Well...
But when I beat the Botest sisters like 3-4 months ago, they paid immediately.
All I'm saying
they have more money. So.
It's not right what he did, and whether it was an oversight or whatever. And then he didn't. He questioned while I was asking about it, and I'm the business manager of our business, and so I'm also married to Ben. Mm-hmm. So I let him know that, And then he said, well, Ben should send him a DM for it. And I said, why does he have to DM you for overdue subs? I'm telling you, you should
And she
pay
kept
up.
ending every sentence with bitch.
So he did pay up.
I couldn't believe it.
Ginger GM. But
And then she called him a bloody bastard. I was shocked.
I look so disheveled. I just got off the
Thanks, GM Soupy, for the sub.
Thing is,
I can't believe Karen went on the treadmill and then sat in front of you. You can see her. I never
I'm
heard
all
such a
sweaty
thing.
and gross. Thing is, like,
that's my two favorites.
I shouldn't have brought it up in the context that I did. That was wrong.
I'm sweaty and gross, and I didn't work out.
We should have DM'd him, but I asked.
Thanks, Hamish W27 for the sub.
I asked Ben to DM him, and Ben didn't want to. Well, it's not just your money; it's our money, and it's the principle of the matter. It's like, I don't understand why he didn't pay.
You know,
You know what?
who cares?
I care.
I know.
It's wrong.
That's probably why.
You're
By
just,
the way, somebody said...
you're just letting him get away with it because he's a GM?
Right. Somebody said, can we have Callahan come back and be the UK Prime Minister? Do you know why Callahan can't be the UK Prime Minister anymore?
No.
He's not alive.
I was going to say, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, he died. He was the Prime Minister before Thatcher. And he was at my wedding reception when I got married in England, him and his wife. And I just want to point out, his wife was the boss of that marriage, and then some. He was like, yes, dear. And she was like, rawr.
Well, I hope you're not trying to make some correlation.
No, I'm just saying, like, the guy was
the
guy was the prime minister of a country, and obviously his wife told him what to do at all times. So I was like,
why was it obvious?
Well, because I saw them together.
Oh, she did.
She's, you know.
That's kind of like Nancy Reagan.
He is the president. He's the prime minister of a country.
Nancy Reagan.
And she was like, "Look, bitch," and he was like, "Yes, dear, sorry."
The second one.
Yeah.
If anybody else did that to you and didn't pay you the money, you would be the time that
it would depend on if they were a grandmaster or not. God. Like if it was Proust, I'd be furious.
That's absurd.
Well, if the Botez sisters didn't pay me, I wouldn't care. They're grandmasters of streaming. It depends if I already like them or dislike them beforehand. Like if it was Hans, even though he's a grandmaster, he wasn't a grandmaster 3 years ago. I'm not a big fan of his. So
I mean, you were so furious because there was a delay in your payment that time from that tournament.
That was a lot of money.
It was more money.
This was a very small amount of money. That was a lot of money. That was $3,000.
Yeah.
Unless it wasn't. Maybe it was $1,300.
I think it was $1,300. Still, it was way more money.
It was a lot.
It was. But I'm just pointing out that...
yeah, I never played in a tournament and never got paid. What are they, the U.S. Chess Federation? I wouldn't yell at Eric Rosen if he didn't pay me. I would just be confused.
I would just text Eric.
By the way, Eric Rosen has dissed us in the past. And Karen's like, what do we do? He's Eric Rosen.
No, the only time he ever dissed us was when he had COVID. And he didn't answer my text.
Okay, but I don't care if you got COVID. You can answer a text from Karen.
I mean, he was sick.
I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't know how much it was. It was between $1,300 and $3,000. It was right in there. But I don't know how much it was. I think it was more than $1,300. It might have been $1,800.
I do regret that I called out Ginger GM over Twitter. I should have talked to you about it and insisted that you go ahead and DM him. But I already did, and you said no.
I DM'd him like 2 or 3 years ago about it.
And he blew you off, right?
Yeah, he said something like "let me know when," like more dragging it on. But that was years ago. I forgot about it.
Staying on humanity, I did see that.
Well, here's what you have to understand, and I've explained this to the chat many, many, many times, but nobody ever understands it. The chess players all know each other before streaming existed. So before streaming existed, and while streaming existed, people didn't like Hans because he's Hans. Not because he did anything, they just don't like him. Okay, a lot of people don't like Hans. A lot of people don't like Nakamura. Now, this may be hard for you to believe. You don't have to believe if you don't want to. A lot of people don't like me. I don't know if that's possible, but okay. So David Proust just doesn't like Hans because he's Hans, not because Hans did anything. He doesn't like Hans. And he likes Danny Wrench because him and Danny Wrench were like that, son. So he thinks Danny Wrench has done a lot for chess with chess.com, getting strong players to play online and getting millions of people to play online. And he thinks, Hans has been not a nice person the last 5 years. So that's why he called him that. Although obviously, as Karen points out, most of his bad behavior was when he was a child. So she's almost forgives him, almost.
I mean, he's 19. He seems right on the right schedule for growing up. I mean, I have a 19-year-old, you know.
Is he 19?
Did you ever think Holden would act as well as he does now?
He always acted good.
No.
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 What about when he was a baby?
You used to tell Aviv and everybody that he was like evil and horrible.
I would never say that.
Yeah.
Come on, he's watching the stream right now. You can't say stuff like that.
He's never watched the stream.
Damn. But his friends all watch it. Go Hype
No.
Train. Wait, the Hype Train got to level 2 somehow. What happened?
Hey, BCD, how's it going? No, Holden was...
95 cents from Don the Second. Thank you.
You guys are going to think that this is an excuse. I'm not making an excuse for his behavior. Okay?
However, here comes the excuse.
No, well, I need to explain it. And, you know, when you guys have kids one day, you're going to see that not everything's under parental control. Sometimes they just do their own thing, and you can punish them till the cows come home. They're not capable of being better. So Holden, I gotta condense this down. I feel like I'm about to launch into 30-minute spiel. Okay, Holden was profoundly gifted. Is profoundly gifted. He was writing and doing math and reading when he was 1. Self-taught.
Spencer played chess when he was 1, but Spencer was terrible. Terrible.
And so Holden was always very, very sensitive and would have these incredible meltdowns. Just you can't even imagine. And he didn't have sensory processing disorder, but he was sort of borderline. He wasn't on the spectrum, but he had some flags. He was just extremely unusual human. And Holden pretty much, up until he got into senior year, even then some, would just have these incredible meltdowns. And now I think he's turning out pretty good. Mm-hmm. His social skills have gotten way better, and he's at MIT now.
Yeah, he tricked Karen with her credit card by ordering food. That's what any 19-year-old would do. And then some.
So all I'm trying to say is, up until people are adults, they go through a lot of changes. And that doesn't mean they can get away with whatever they do, but there has to be some kind of understanding.
But Hikaru acts the same as he did when he was 10.
No,
oh, snap.
No, Hikaru's also better than when he was younger.
No, that's Spencer. We're not talking. Spencer's not her son. Spencer's her stepson. That's my son.
Talking about my son,
Holden. You don't know Holden. Holden goes to MIT. He's getting a degree in math. He's just starting his second year.
Yeah, so, I mean...
That's her son before we met, because he's 19 and I met Karen 8 years ago or 7 years ago.
So with regards to Hans,
7.
I mean, certainly he's done some things in the last year. You can raise an eyebrow. That's pretty arrogant, or that's this, or that was,
Didn't like this son. Didn't like that son.
But he's 19, and his behavior... A lot of what you're saying, like a lot of the things that Ben doesn't like about him is from when he was 12.
Trying to learn to wait for the 72-page report from chess.com on Holden before making any judgment. Right. By the way, judgment, the preferred spelling is without an E. You can spell it with an E, but I'm just helping you for next time. The first E is usually not used.
That's all I'm saying is, it doesn't mean you can get away with whatever because you're 19 or 15 or 10, but... There has to be some kind of understanding that they're a work in progress, and Man,
you guys, you're misspelling judgment worse than you ever did. What does he study in math? Whatever is the most complicated.
I don't know what he's studying.
By the way, at every single, what's that stupid place to work out at? It's the cheap one. Yeah, it's across the street from where we go. It's next to the Starbucks.
I don't think that's cheaper. Why do you think it's cheap?
It's $10 a month.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Planet Fitness?
Planet Fitness, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know.
At Planet Fitness, in every Planet Fitness and on their commercials, their motto is no judgment zone, and they spell judgment with an E. So I stopped going there because I judge them for that they can't spell judgment correctly.
The reason I just want to add one thing.
You can pay more than 10 if you want. You can pay 20 or 30 and get other stuff, but 10 is the cheapest.
Mm-hmm.
They take it out of your bank account, and you can never quit. You have to delete your bank account. People complain a lot about it. Yeah. I deleted my bank account, and they couldn't do it anymore.
Hey, let me add one thing to it.
Yeah.
So I want to add one thing to what I was saying about Holden. The reason why I brought up the fact that he's profoundly gifted is not because I'm bragging or I care. It is relevant with regards to behavior, which is people that are on that extreme have issues a lot when they're younger that a lot of times does resolve with age. And that's all I'm saying is, I mean, he just was like in his own universe in a lot of ways. So anyway.
Yeah, this guy, this friend of mine named Nate, he's pretty talented, Nate. So yeah, it's in Nate. Yeah.
Does Holden like chess? Not really. I don't think he's ever been on this.
He's played 4-player chess, which is more than I can say, although I have played. Hey, we're still in slow-mo. We've been in slow mode for 4 days. Does that matter? It doesn't seem like it's going slow to me.
I'm not sure how it got in.
It was put in slow mode because it was too many people were chatting. It was too fast.
I forgot how to turn it off.
Right. You didn't turn it on. Somebody else did. That seems fine every 5 seconds. I don't want a guy sending 10 messages in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I actually like slow mode. Yeah, slow mode's good.
All right, that's fine. It does prevent some of the spam.
Mm-hmm. The judgment-free zone trademark. Right. I live in slow mode.
So, what does everybody think about? Of course, now that we've had a day to process this lawsuit, I mean, it does seem like an uphill battle, but what are you internet legal scholars think?
Yeah, but we don't spell things in British English when we're American. We don't put U's in things for no reason. So he can't spell it the British way and spell everything else the American way. So he has to use no E. The British do prefer with an E because, you know, British put a U in stuff. Mm-hmm. Like when you put a U in words, something's wrong. Then it sounds like to me like you're acting like an arse.
Maggie should countersue for $1 trillion.
Yeah, I'm actually confused about the suit, whether he wants 400 million or he wants 2 billion. I haven't decided because there's four counts, 100 million each. But I don't know if each count the 5 defendants have to pay it 1/5 of each, or he's saying each plaintiff has to pay that amount. So if he's saying each plaintiff in the suit has to pay for each count, that's $2 billion. If he's saying they have to split it, then he's asking for 400 million. I'm not sure which one is actually true, what he's asking for. But he'll get at least $50 because it's Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't think that Nona...
Gaprindashvili?
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
I didn't think that she had a chance at all with the Netflix lawsuit. So that shows what I know. They settled. So
yeah, but if they settle for $50.
Yeah. Yeah, Hikaru's being sued. Star fails. You must be behind.
Yeah, Hikaru's part of the suit, as it says in the thing.
There's a link to the lawsuit itself. The filing. King of Chess. So what do you guys think about the funny, quirky language in the filing? The King of Chess and something about if you kung.
Oh, I tweeted something funny.
Yeah, it does read like fan fiction.
Karen doesn't like memes, but she's going to change her mind when she sees my tweet.
You think Hans is the GOAT?
My tweet's good. I'm the goodest.
I don't really have, I like Hikaru and Magnus and Hans.
Here's my tweet.
Oh.
Hey, Lead Chess, how you doing? Yeah. I'll probably be a Lead Chess streamer at some point because I assume Chess.com is going to send an email saying you're no longer a Chess.com streamer. I assume that's going to happen in the next month.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen in the next month, it's not going to happen. But they got bigger fish to fry, and they know I'm a vegan, so when they think of frying fish, they don't think of me.
Wait, where did that go? I was going to authorize it.
Yeah, I like this thumbnail with me and Magnus and Hans. You know why I like it? Because I look better than them. I look like a boss, and they look like disheveled, and they need to go to sleep or something. Yeah, and I got the big arms, rawr, etc. Go Hans.
Yeah, I guess we'll all be watching to see what happens.
Well, if it's frivolous, according to the judge or whomever, then it'll just be thrown out without it going to a jury trial. But if the judge is like, interesting indeed, then it might go to a jury trial.
Chess.com doesn't sponsor this stream per se. We're partners with them, but certainly there are some perks.
We cook our own vegan food on the stream. We did about 4 days ago.
Yeah, it was really good.
Come on, pay attention.
It was really good.
Don't you watch the stream? We had a cooking stream.
Well, Terrain, it's true that in civil court anything can happen.
It's anything but civil.
If it gets that far. But
yeah, that's what I figured. I figured I could say chess.com sucks and I hate them all day and they don't care. That's what I think. I think they don't care what I say. Like if Hikaru said that, they'd be mad.
Well, he's got a bigger audience.
Occasionally, Hikaru will go to Lee Chess and play some Lee Chess tournament and they get mad. So that's funny. And he streams it. Obviously, him streaming a Lee Chess tournament, that's got to be against whatever their agreement is. I don't know what their agreement is, but it has to be against it. Him streaming a Lee Chess tournament, and they get mad that nothing happens. So I don't know. I guess he's the golden goose. So
yeah, chess.com does equal Danny Wrench. He's the, I don't know what his title is, CEO.
He's like second in charge. Eric's in charge.
Eric's in charge, but yeah.
I don't think Eric is a chess player, but he's in charge of chess.com. But Danny's the face of chess.com. Everybody knows who Danny is, even people who don't want to know who he is. The chief chess officer. That's right.
Well, I think Hikaru's wrong unless his contract is vastly different than Ben's. The streamers are supposed to only stream chess on chess.com.
Eric Hansen's in charge of chess.com. Now he's like number 10. Invitation to Rapid Chess Championship. Anyway, a lot of people on Twitter and here, they like to opine on the lawsuit based on their pre-existing understanding of what they think happened. So if people are like, go Hans didn't cheat against Magnus, I love Hans, they think the lawsuit's okay. People who are like, Hans is a cheater, Hans is always a cheater, Magnus said so, Hans should be banned, they think the lawsuit's insane. So it depends on what you thought beforehand, what you think of the lawsuit. However, what you think of the lawsuit isn't as important as what the judge thinks of the lawsuit and the jury. What they think actually matters. And the lawyers. What you think isn't...
Hey, Big Daddy. Thanks for this interview.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
When it was the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, which you didn't follow at all, when they made the verdict and they did the money, what did you think? Like that was going to happen, or you were shocked and appalled? Because they basically ruled against her and ruled for him, basically.
Yeah. No, I wasn't shocked.
Yeah.
No, they had to prove maliciousness, and I think there was maliciousness.
Frankly, malicious.
But he's no saint. It was a confusing case, but I wasn't surprised.
You remember when Johnny Depp was good looking? Remember those days, or you don't remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's too far away. Oh, snap.
Yeah, I used to watch 21 Jump Street, which is where he got his start.
Now I have a serious question for Karen. The chat can answer too if they want, but this is a serious question. I want a serious answer. Johnny Depp is some age, like he's my age or your age. He's in his early 50s, right?
I think it's probably late 50s.
Well, okay. Does Johnny Depp look good for a guy his age? Forget he's famous and he's... What's that? Like right now,
no.
If you saw Johnny Depp, be like, wow, that guy's really good looking for 55 or whatever.
No, because he drinks and smokes.
Yeah, not now. Man, the truth
He looks all right. Yeah, he's not hard.
But if he was like walking around in the street and he wasn't a famous actor, he wouldn't say, wow, that guy's really good looking. He'd just say, like, yeah, some guy, he's probably homeless. A lot of wear and tear.
I heard a story, or read a story one time that before one of the Pirates movies, he shows up on set, ready to film, and they had to have his teeth cleaned.
But shouldn't they be dirty for that role?
That's a point.
If he's a pirate, shouldn't he be looking terrible?
That's a point.
Yeah. All right. So in the chat, what's more likely? The case gets dismissed without going to trial because the judge is like, ridiculous. Or it goes to trial and there's a trial. And like it goes on for days and weeks and there's a jury.
Thank you, malicious.
What's more likely? Case dismissed. They will. I don't think they're going to settle. I think it's dismissed or going to trial. I don't see chess.com settling. Trial. I have no clue. Trial. 99% chance no trial. Wow.
Yeah, God, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't even know what to think will happen.
Yeah, if we want to get new windows and blinds that we can't afford now, I think if there's a trial, we can afford them.
Yeah.
we need the trial. We need the trial to go on for weeks so we can discuss it 2 or 3 times a day.
I mean, I think it makes sense to settle, but last time I said that, YouTubers said that I was crazy. Hey, YouTubers. But, you know.
Wait, what is he saying? Go look at what John said. Go up a little. Trying to learn. Go up. Trying to learn.
I'm trying.
She's trying. There it is. Chess.com is the most expensive law firm in the country. There's zero chance they go to trial because it would bankrupt them in court costs. Mm-hmm. But they like going to trial. Chess.com has the most expensive trial lawyers in the country. God damn.
Was that the bird? Yes. Did it not look like a bird? Did I do it wrong? Do I have so little practice doing it? Well, I just think they should settle. I mean, are they going to settle? I don't know. Trying to Learn thinks they will. I guess what I think they should do doesn't mean I think they will do it. I think there's a good chance they'll go to trial.
Chess.com membership fees about to go up.
Yeah. You think they'll settle, Blunder Tone?
There's no way Chess.com will settle. I don't believe it. Chess.com is arrogant about their right, and they know you cheated.
Oh,
and
they're arrogant as shit.
Yeah. You don't think the case will survive motion to dismiss? You know, I'm thinking that might be the case.
Yeah, Danny Wrench loves to dig in. That's
yeah, if they settle and give him money, how are they going to spin that? Like, we like Hans, we don't want any trouble, and even though we don't agree that he has a case, we decided it would be better for him. Like, how are they going to spin that?
Well, part of the agreement is they'll have to agree on the kind of public statement that's made. They'll have to agree on what's said.
Oh, you're saying if it survives motion to dismiss, they will settle. That's possible. The chess.com doesn't want the court digging into what they do.
Mm-hmm. I think it's bad for chess, and I think they should settle. And I don't know if Danny Wrench is ever going to understand what a dick he's been.
God damn.
Ever.
Do you mean his whole life, or you mean like in the last month?
I've experienced dickiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Prior to this.
Danny Wrench is like, you know, like before chess.com existed, he was like a flake. He's like not somebody I would hire to do anything business-wise, but now he's like top business guy. So there you go. Republicans like to do that. They like to hire people for the top jobs that just have nothing. They got no experience. The brain doesn't work very well. And they're like, you're pretty good. They do that all the time. That's like everybody that the Republicans hire.
I'm sorry. I know
$9.99.
I know he seems like a good guy, Deep Blue, and others.
My game against Rini Kaif was really fantastic. I've played Kaif more than once, so I assume you mean the game I was black, where I sacrificed on the king side in a double king pawn opening, and then I crushed him. That game was funny. He almost lost on time. He had like 1 second left, and I had an hour left. So I was playing well that game. That's when I was good at chess. It was a long time ago. Briggs Keith subscribed. I think that's the game you're talking about.
The Most Supreme Juice, Danny did not bend over backwards. That's the same treatment that all the title players get when they're caught cheating. He didn't do anything special for Hans. And Ben and I were in on one of the secret cheating meetings, and we understand their process in and out. He didn't do anything special for Hans at all.
Yeah, the problem is Danny Wrench is like me in the sense that a very high percentage of his behavior in his normal life is comedy. And in this situation, when somebody's cheating or not cheating, when Magnus is withdrawing, when Magnus resigns on move 1, when somebody's career is at stake, when it's all people talk about, if I make jokes, that's fine, because, that's what I do. But Danny Wrench saying chess.com is disinviting Hans. Hans is banned from chess.com. Now I'm going to make 50 jokes about it. I mean, unfortunately, he can't help himself. He has to be sort of funny. And he said some funny stuff, and he's like, well, I was just kidding. And then Eric said something on Reddit, which was weird, because Eric usually doesn't say anything. And, this is, like, weird that they're, like, going out of their way to, like, get involved when they should go out of their way to not get involved. That's what they should do. And the fact that that Magnus and Danny are like that, son, makes it all suspicious. Right, sweetie?
The most supreme juice, what I would say is if you've got protocol and it's applied to hundreds of players.
Thanks, Briggs Keith.
Then you're not really bending over backwards. You're just following your established protocol. Saying bending over backwards, all I'm saying is implies that it's some kind of special treatment. It wasn't special treatment. So I'm just taking issue with those exact words. But I can also tell you that I don't know Danny. Ben, well. Ben has known him for many, many years, and you guys have had a good relationship.
Yeah, I've known him for like 20 years.
And so I think, I don't want to speak too much for you, but you in general do consider him to be a good guy, at least in the past, right?
Yeah, I don't like the way he runs chess.com, but he's a good guy. He's a funny guy.
So I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just going to say he's a multifaceted guy, and he can be a real jerk. I've seen it firsthand when Ben and I decided not to do the commentary for you at the chess championship a couple of years ago. Danny was pretty nasty, and I felt like he was implying that he was going to ruin Ben's career. And maybe those were some unfortunate words he used. And when I called him out on it, he did change his tone, to his credit. But he got pretty hot under the collar about it, and his language was very threatening. And he and I had a couple of emails and moved on from it, but it was a little unsettling to see the way that he thinks. Yeah,
basically right now, like, I'm a chess.com streamer, whatever that means. So I have to have chess.com logo and play on chess.com. That's what, and then I'm on Chess TV 3 times a week for 2 hours.
Fractal Chris,
that's like all I get.
Why are we associated with chess.com? That's a good question.
Yeah, good question. Oh, if it was up to me, I would have been on Lee Chess like years ago, months ago. Whenever they screwed us last year.
We don't get a lot of perks, but the Chess TV is helpful. And then I actually do think chess.com is the best place to learn.
It's also easier to just continue what we're doing than change and go to Lee Chess.
Yeah. I think chess.com.
But obviously, chess.com is a lot more evil than Leaf Chess. They're a for-profit business.
I think
Lee Chess is non-profit.
Well, let me talk. I think it's the best place to learn and play chess. So that's another thing. Is nothing against Lee Chess. And then, like you're saying, we're already plugged in here, and we do get the Chess TV benefits. I guess I had thought eventually that you would ask to do commentary again, but I guess not. That's fine. I understand. They have valid reasons to not do that. But, yeah, Lee Chess is fine.
A lot of people, most people, not me and Karen, most people, they think Lee Chess is better than chess.com, like when you look at it in functionality and programming and whatever, like the way they set it up. But we like chess.com better.
I just like chess.com.
We're in the minority in that, and like playing and finding people to play and the way it looks. Most people don't agree with that, but
we like it best.
I just like the way it looks better.
Yeah, I have the diamond membership.
I've been on Lee Chess many times. I just don't.
I don't dislike them, but I'm more familiar with chess.com. So, I mean, we have no intentions of leaving chess.com in their future. I guess they could kick us off because we
Yes.
don't agree with their business
Darn.
practices.
Oh.
But
Dang.
it seems like, they've already got enough toxicity going on with this lawsuit and in general. So I don't know why they would invite more drama. But if they do, then they do.
Chess.com is less nerdy. Yeah, that's the part I like about it. They don't want our commentary because we did commentary for the U.S. Championship last year or 2 years ago. I don't know what it was. It was a year or two ago, and they wouldn't put us on the main channel. Like when we were watching, we were on like the Chess.com events, which had like 200 viewers, and we get like 10,000 viewers on the regular channel, and they had Hikaru on the regular channel doing his coverage. I'm like, what?
Hikaru wasn't even the sanctioned. He wasn't the commentator. We were the official.
We were the official commentators, but Hikaru wanted to be on the main channel, and we didn't know that until after it happened.
They didn't tell us.
They tricked us. They knew that we weren't going to be on, but they didn't want to tell us.
They knew we weren't going to like that, and I felt like that it was demeaning to the tournament.
Oh, it's ridiculous to have the official coverage on 200 viewers when you could have thousands.
And it all comes down to they kowtow to Hikaru.
Right.
And I get it, he's their golden goose, but...
No, but they lied to us, not telling us we weren't going to be on the main channel, that we're going to have no viewers. I don't want to do a stream where there's no viewers. That's just silly.
No, it's just demeaning. Yeah. And so...
And insulting. So now because of that, I stopped doing it after like round 2. So now they're mad at me and I did something wrong and they were being nice to me. That's their point of view, the wrong point of view. And because of that, they don't hire me to do commentary anymore, just to get back at me.
And I still remember Danny's. Yeah, we got paid. I remember Danny said. He said a lot of stuff, but I remember one thing he said was, "You're gonna regret this. You're gonna regret this," in a very threatening tone.
Yeah, I mean, the abuse of power. Let's see. Oh, I thought it was Danny saying, "Call me." Traffic is bad.
I feel unanimous that he had to be shaking his fists, But we were just like, nah, 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 nah. No, thank you.
Oh, no. Like, I was getting $10 million a minute from the St. Louis club, and I quit.
Did I do it right?
So chess.com can't, tell me, oh, you're in trouble because you're not listening to us. I literally don't give a fuck. Let's see, just released. Yeah, as soon as St. Louis Chess Club treated me worse than I wanted to be treated, I was out. Care how much they're paying me. They pay me a lot. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to forward this to you. It's so stupid.
Who's that from?
Yeah, it's just like one of these things I get where they're like offering us stuff.
Oh, okay.
But it's so stupid, I'm not even going to forward it to you.
You can send it. Hey, Finn Bungle, thank you for the 500 bits.
Yeah. No, but people thinking they have power over me, they're like, oh no, what if chess.com does, I don't care. There's other chess servers. She cares, but
it's not because
black actors.
It's not because of the loss of the chess TV. I really would like there not to be further animosity. And chess.com is obviously the big monopoly.
I want more animosity, by the way. And I've never done it with Fiddler. No.
It's better to get along with people than not get along with people.
I was doing commentary in St. Louis for the U.S. for the Sinkfield Cup, and Fiddler was playing in the Sinkfield Cup, and he came and he sat with us for an hour. We analyzed his game, then he's like, let's look at other games. So we did, and Gary did that too. So I've done commentary with them by accident. They just showed up, analyzed their game, then said, let's look at some other games. And I was like, all right, I'll analyze this Fiddler. I've done commentary with Kasparov. God damn. Let's see if Karen remembers what tournament that was.
Were you analyzed with Kasparov?
Me and Kasparov did commentary.
Oh, you did commentary.
Yeah, it was live commentary. We're sitting next to each other. I think it was before I met you.
It was definitely before we met.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess Sinkfield Cup.
It was the U.S. Junior Championship.
Okay.
He was in town, and they were like, hey, Gary, you come and do commentary. He's like, all right. So he did it for 40 minutes.
Why don't you play by only talking? Well, we're just venting a little bit about the scandal. Are you new to the channel?
Yeah. Wayne Brady, son. Oh, shit. It's Wayne Brady, son. Yeah, the settlement's not going to be no monetary sum. That's what Hans is looking for. You guys are like, I think this should happen. The thinking's not your strong suit. Don't do that. Donating is not your strong suit either. I don't know what you guys have. Do you guys have a strong suit? I don't know.
That's right. Ben, we're playing, but Ben's taken 2 hours to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Nobody did say ravishing.
That's true moves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where Dua is. I got to go shower and let you.
We need 96 subs so we get to 2,700. Who's going to donate 96 subs?
I just got off the treadmill.
We need Mamba Forever, Phase XG, and Adam Walls at the same time. God damn. 33 each. I mean, 32 each. Close.
So trying to learn the lawsuit, the law firm only gets paid if they win? If Hans wins?
I don't think Hans can afford to have lawyers, so probably.
Oh, thank you, Ambitious Spoon.
I would guess they're doing it on contingency. I don't think he's
it has a lot
paying
of money.
them $1,000 an hour.
Hey, they don't have a lot of money.
Jediah Real Monsters or something. Gifted a sub. Thank you.
Well, I don't know what his parents do for a living. What if Rex is funding the suit?
Oh, a snap.
Well, he did have... Rex's take on it just the other day was that the more distance...
No, money down. Good job, Blundered Hope.
The more distance that Magnus gets on the situation, the more he thinks that he's going to see that he's in the wrong. That's what Rex said.
On Simpsons...
Rex Sinkfield.
It says it works on contingency, no money down. He says, that's not what it says. Works on contingency, no money down. Good Simpsons line. Funded by Rex. Yeah, Rex said, Magnus probably should reconsider his withdrawing and go back in time. I heard Woody Harrelson is funding it. A lot of people are saying that. I'm not sure who they are.
Woody Harrelson?
I mean, I'm kidding. This guy's making a joke.
Oh.
Let's see. Well, it's not Danny Wrench. ETA 910. Cool.
Well, I mean, Danny doesn't consider us to be important, so that's probably why we get away with saying whatever we want to say. But and I guess we probably aren't in their big scheme of things.
Mark said he'll be here about 9:10.
Okay, we need a Hans emote. I mean, I don't want to, over-present how, I hope that Hans gets a settlement, but, I don't want to turn him into some kind of, saint. He's not a saint, but I do think he's been wronged.
I was surprised that Magnus withdrew from the Sinkfield Cup and didn't talk to Rex for 1 second. That he just withdrew and left, and Rex was like, what? Rex is the sponsor of the tournament, and he's played in many Sinkfield Cups and so forth. So I'm just surprised he didn't say anything to Rex about it at all. That's weird to me. Rex and Magnus haven't spoken since he withdrew.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reports, so I don't really know how good of a case they have, because... Actually, tomorrow the Perpetual podcast is going to drop, and Ben Johnson interviewed a constitutional lawyer on this situation. So everybody should check out the Perpetual podcast.
Go Perpetual podcast.
I know I will.
Podcasts aren't boring, so do it. Thanks, Sven Beingold.
I can't even keep up with all my podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with any of that, Fen Beingold, but since you donated, okay.
Wait, what did he say?
He said it's clear Rex, he says it's obvious Rex must have had something to do with it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so, but certainly it's...
No, but you gave 500 centidues and you did this earlier, so okay. I asked someone else about Robbie today. No, Robbie made day 3 of the Trillionaire Bellagio 5K Diamond Mega Tournament.
Robbie bagged day 3.
Agree with me, Fen Beingold. I do agree with you. 500 centidues.
So what I want to know, Moves, or anybody that knows about the poker drama, is whether Robbie really pressed charges against Brian or not. She only ever said she was going to, and then nobody ever talked about it again. So I don't know.
Karen, do you think Yosha should have been one of the defendants?
No, I don't, Hodder. I was just getting a little dig in because I think Yosha put all that bullshit data out there that Hikaru used. I don't think Yosha should have been a defendant, though. I was just calling Yosha out. You know, Yosha put all these grandmasters, oh, look at this data. And then that was shot down later by real data analysts.
Rex actually offered Hans $100 million to drop the suit. And then he's like, $100 million? And Rex is like, I'll take out of my back pocket. So, yeah. None of that happened, but it could have.
Yes, Steak Bites. It's looking like it's going to be hard to prove the poker cheating. I agree.
Yeah, I hope the Delugi lawsuit drops too, because we get more drama that way.
Oh, you think Yosha might get called? Well, I thought Yosha works for Chess24, but I guess
that's correct. That's what.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I misread that. I thought it was chess.com. Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, is Yosha a woman?
Yeah.
Okay, because somebody said his, and I thought Yosha was a woman.
Yosha goes by the pronoun of she. Yosha is a woman.
Yeah.
But, well, I didn't think about the fact they might call Yosha, but...
Yosha's third gender. I'm getting too confused here. I'm not old enough for this discussion.
Oh, she goes by they? I thought she went by she. Yeah, she's a trans woman, but I thought she went by she. Well, I like to use the correct pronouns for people. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I use the correct pronouns for Magnus. Little bitch. Oh, snap. Wasn't many pronouns, but it's still funny. But the important thing about the lawsuit is, for a while, the poker drama was bigger than the chess drama. So now the chess drama is taken over. We're in every newspaper in the world, every online site, everywhere, every TV show. So the last 3 days have been chess drama, and before that, the poker drama was winning. That was terrible. So if Delugi files suit at some point, then that'll be good for the chess drama too, and we'll crush the poker drama.
That is true. Trying to learn. Yosha didn't point that out. I wasn't sure if that happened before or after the video was published, though, so I didn't know when Yosha started working for Chess24. Yeah, there are more insane characters in the poker drama. No, the poker drama, well, poker drama is interesting in a lot of different ways. I'm going to say it's more interesting.
A federal appeals court has temporarily halted Biden's student debt relief plan, preventing the government from moving forward. I mean, those appeals courts are tough.
Beans is a trip. Yeah, Beans is obviously kind of scummy. I mean, he just seems scummy to me. Hans Niemann Jewish? I don't know. Ben didn't hurt in chess.
This is funny.
I would never give you up.
There's a tweet. It's a poster for Rick Astley for Prime Minister. He will never, then there's check marks, give you up, let you down, run around, desert you, make you cry, say goodbye, tell a lie, or hurt you. He'd be a good Prime Minister. I hope they make Ricky Gervais the Prime Minister. He'd be a good Prime Minister. Go Ricky Gervais.
No.
He has good chances, too.
I don't think Hikaru hadn't said anything. I don't think he's streamed. He's probably not going to say anything.
Well, he said some stuff on our stream, like frankly litigious.
I forgot.
Just got rickrolled by Ben. Yeah, that was funny. Let's see.
They were just talking about yesterday on Sirius, one of the channels, that Rick Astley retired from singing when he was 27.
Sounds like he gave them up.
I think he just didn't really like showbiz. But I don't know.
He's not suing for $100 million. It's $100 million per count. So it's at least $400 million. Go Hans. I thought Hans was a German name. We need Kangaroo here to discuss. All right, I'm going to play some chess and try to get my rating up.
Yeah. Okay, bye, Chad. I'm going to go shower.
But you showered yesterday.
Sweaty and
sweaty.
Got off the treadmill. I wasn't even planning on getting on this stream. But
she was furious.
Well, I wanted to tell my part about the ginger jam.
Don't forget to put that back on.
I am sorry that I did that that I brought that up on Twitter to Ginger Jam, but he should have apologized for it taking so long, and he didn't. He never did apologize at the end. So I guess that just shows that.
Yeah, I think Hans actually was growing up a little bit in the Netherlands. That he lived in Holland when he was a kid, for a little while.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how long.
Steak fights. Well, we did get the money.
Thanks, Plain True. This happened yesterday, Danky Crane. Keep up with the news. It's on every news everywhere. Terrible. Do you live in a cave? Is that your home? Oh, snap. All right, let's try to get our rating up or down or something. 2744 is the starting point. Yeah, I did badly yesterday because all my opponents were way better than me and they crushed me. Then I played somebody who wasn't way better than me and I won on time in a lost position. Yes. Never gonna give you up. All right, our ratings are about the same, although he's a national master. Looks like a little kid. I don't like that. Little kids are good. Maybe that's an adult. Yeah, we'll find out. Oh, it's my move? No. I never know whose move it is. That's why my rating goes down. Also, I play really badly. I don't see anything. My flag falls a lot. I hang all my pieces. I don't know any openings. Other than that, I'm pretty good. What's going on? Why is my opponent not moving? That was weird. It's like 30 seconds without moving for no reason. Knight on c8's pretty active. All right, so I have a lost position strategically, but I'm up 45 seconds. So that's about equal. Thanks, Fen Beingold, for gifting a sub. I need him to tank like 3 more times, then I'll win. He's tanked twice so far. Need a few more tanks. Thanks, Stonkfish. Yeah, Karen was on stream after working out. I can't believe it. Shocking. Yeah, I thought I was taking G2. Darn. Thinking's not my strong suit. All right. Guess I lose a pawn. Yay, I won a game. Yeah, it was the worst game I ever played, except he played worse. Close, though. Somehow I thought I could play knight g3 here, which doesn't make any sense. It hangs by knight. I don't know why I thought that. That was dumb. Let's see, any tricks here? I don't see any. Oh well. Truth hurts. Other than queen takes knight, there's another move? Why is there more than 5 seconds of thinking here? What's going on? I wonder if he's losing his connection. It doesn't say he is. Because he goes into big things for no reason sometimes. Yeah, this is just like, he has a connection, it says. It doesn't say he lost his connection. But obviously something weird's going on. All of the long pauses are irrelevant for random positions. Here there's one move, queen takes knight. So it's weird he's thinking. I mean, it could be, since this says Ukraine, if he's actually in the Ukraine, I'm not saying he is, then he could be, he's falling asleep. And he wakes up and makes a move. Because it's really late there. It's like 4 in the morning. 5 in the morning. When he doesn't move for like 20 seconds, that's weird. Do I have 1 pawn for a piece? It's pretty good. It's more than I deserve. Thanks, Sven Beingel, for gifting a sub. Yay, I win. I'm the best. Not sure what I'm the best at, but I'm the best at something. Thanks, Pierre Abelard. You're the best. Thanks, Monsoon Moon. Now you're the best. And I was doing well until I wasn't. At least I sacked the exchange. Yay, thanks, Lancer Ulysses. Oh my god! I hung mate in one when I was going to win on time and went on the board. Ah, I hung mate in one. What a dummy. Ah. Well, I wasn't winning on the board, but I would have won on time if I had stopped mate in one. I would have had rook and 2 pawns against queen. Yeah, I was actually drawn position. King h5, lose my knight. God, I found the only way to lose. Hang mate in one. And I figured it out. God, what an idiot. Only way to lose was to hang mate in one, and I did it. God damn. What a dummy. I should have broken all my computer stuff. That would have made more sense. God, I hung mate in one. What the hell's wrong with me? Ugh. I kept looking at back rank checks. I didn't look at checks in front of me. My opponent just typed something to me in Cyrillic. I wonder why he thinks I know what that means. Maybe because I'm a GM. Man, how did I mess this up so badly? Playing bad today. For me. Go here. Darn, he didn't go there. Nice try. I like that. That was a good try at the end. Opposing rooks. Man, I played bad. And then some. Man, guy plays bad on purpose, and then he's still better than me. It's like when I play bad on purpose against you guys. Damn. Embarrassing. Good thing I win every game. My Dropbox is full. No. Something I never use. Turtle. I could have played plunge e4. Jesus Christ. Knight was trapped. Still losing, but I mean, playing so bad. God. God, I let him do it again. He still didn't do it. I can't believe I blundered the same trick. Jesus Christ. Plays so bad. Ay, ay, ay. I give my. I just was playing silly, hoping he'd lose on time. Darn. I only lost one rating point. After I win this game, I'm done. The stream will end. Just not playing well. That's a funny skewer. Yeah. All right. That's the highest I've been. Ugh. Man, I beat him 4.5, 1.5, and it felt like I lost every game. Basically, terrible. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. My brother's going to be here in a few minutes, and food's coming, and so forth. 2762. Okay, so I gained 18 points today. So steadily, back up to 2,800, I guess. So forth. I don't like you, Ben. Well, I'll allow that. Let's see. Raid. You have to wait in line, though, to not like me. Let's see. Give it the big boy raid, I guess.